Welcome to Grand Prix, your go-to channel for the fastest updates in Formula One. We've got 3 hot stories for you, so make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell to stay ahead of the pack. Let's get started.
Hey friends, how's it going? We've got some drama, or at least what looked like drama, inside McLaren after the Singapore Grand Prix. Right after the race, cameras caught a moment that quickly went viral. Oscar Piastri apparently disconnecting the team radio while CEO Zak Brown was congratulating everyone on securing the Constructors' Championship. In the footage, Zak Brown can be heard thanking the drivers and crew for their hard work and celebrating the achievement. But before he could even finish his message, Piastri's radio cut out. To make matters worse, Piastri was also absent from the team's podium celebration after the race. That double incident immediately sparked speculation across the paddock and on social media. Was Piastri upset? Was there tension between him, Norris, and McLaren's leadership? During the race itself, Piastri had shown clear frustration over certain strategy calls, especially when battling his teammate, Lando Norris. So, at first glance, his silence after the race and absence from the podium festivities seemed like a sign of dissatisfaction or even disrespect. But as often happens in Formula One, not everything is what it looks like. McLaren leader clarified the situation to motorsport.com. According to the team, Piastri didn't actually cut off Zak Brown mid-sentence. What happened is that by the time Brown's message came through, Piastri had already switched off the car in Parc Fermé, which automatically disabled his radio. In other words, he never heard the message in the first place. It wasn't a snub, just a timing issue. The team also explained why Piastri wasn't seen celebrating on the podium with Norris and the crew. The reason was tied to Formula One's official schedule. After every race, drivers are immediately directed to the media pen for mandatory interviews with broadcasters. While Norris was already near the podium because of his third-place finish, Piastri was still locked into his media obligations. McLaren emphasized that the post-race podium gathering was meant for engineers and mechanics only, but since Norris happened to be there, it gave the impression that Piastri was excluded. To clear the air and stop the rumor mill, McLaren later organized an official team photo in the pit lane, with both Piastri and Norris celebrating together as usual. This was their way of showing that despite some tense radio moments during the race, there is no rift inside the team. Right now, the focus returns to the Drivers' Championship fight, where Piastri remains in the lead with a 22-point advantage over Lando Norris. The team insists that both drivers and management are aligned, and the so-called radio drama was nothing more than a misunderstanding. But now I want to hear from you. Do you believe McLaren's explanation and think this was all just bad timing? Or do you suspect there might still be some hidden frustration from Piastri? And most importantly, who do you think will come out on top in this McLaren title fight? Piastri or Norris? Drop your thoughts in the comments.
Hey friends, how's it going? The Singapore Grand Prix has just wrapped up, but the drama isn't over yet. Lewis Hamilton has been summoned by the FIA stewards after allegedly exceeding track limits in the closing laps of the race. Hamilton had been staging a strong recovery drive after switching to soft tires for the final stint. With the fresher rubber, he managed to overtake Charles Leclerc and even began pressuring Mercedes rookie Andrea Kimi Antonelli for a spot in the top 5, which would have been Hamilton's best finish since the British Grand Prix back in July. However, in the dying minutes of the race, things started to unravel. Hamilton began suffering from brake issues combined with heavy tire degradation. His pace dropped dramatically, forcing him to give the position back to Leclerc. In the end, Hamilton crossed the line in 7th place, just 0.4 of a second ahead of Fernando Alonso. The dramatic part? He lost nearly 45 seconds on the final lap alone because of those braking problems. Right after the checkered flag, Hamilton's engineer came over the radio to inform him that he was under investigation and could lose that 7th place finish. Hamilton responded, insisting that any penalty would be unfair, arguing that he only went beyond track limits because of the mechanical issues with his car. According to him, it wasn't a matter of gaining an advantage, but simply trying to keep the car under control. For now, the classification remains provisional, as the stewards will hear from Hamilton and analyze the onboard footage, telemetry, and lap data. If a penalty is handed down, Alonso would inherit 7th place, while Hamilton would drop to 8th, another frustrating blow in what has already been a difficult debut season with Ferrari. This moment adds another layer to Hamilton's rocky 2025 campaign. He has yet to score a podium and has often found himself struggling against Charles Leclerc. Today looked like a chance to finally show progress, especially with that late charge on fresh tires. Instead, it might end in more disappointment if the stewards decide against him. The bigger question here is whether the FIA will consider mitigating circumstances. Drivers have been penalized before for exceeding track limits, regardless of car problems. But Hamilton's case is different. It was clearly the braking issue that forced him wide. Will the stewards apply the rulebook strictly, or will they show leniency because of the situation? Whatever the outcome, this investigation highlights how unforgiving Formula One can be. One moment you're charging through the field, and the next you're fighting just to hang on. Hamilton, a 7-time world champion, now finds himself battling for points and hoping for mercy from the officials. So what do you think? Should Hamilton be penalized even though his off-track excursion was caused by brake failure? Or do you believe the FIA should let this one slide, recognizing that he didn't gain an unfair advantage? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below.
Hey friends, how's it going? This past weekend, Max Verstappen took a few more steps toward what would be his 5th consecutive world championship in Formula One. The problem? Those steps weren't nearly as strong as he needed them to be. So the big question is, does Verstappen still have a real chance of winning the title in these final races? Well, mathematically speaking, yes. But the reality is that it would take nothing short of a miracle. With just 6 races left in the season, plus 3 sprint races still to be contested in Austin, Brazil, and Qatar, Verstappen would need to win all 9 of those events. That means 6 straight Grand Prix victories and 3 sprint wins, with no mistakes, no retirements, and no bad luck. Even if he pulled off that perfect streak, the championship wouldn't be guaranteed. That's because Verstappen's fate doesn't rest entirely in his own hands. He's dependent on how both McLaren drivers, Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri, perform in these final races. The numbers make it clear. For Verstappen to become champion, Norris would need to finish no higher than second twice, third twice, and fourth once in the remaining Grand Prix, while also taking no better than third place in the sprint races. Meanwhile, Piastri would need to drop key points by finishing second only twice, third twice, fourth once, and fifth once, while also staying behind Verstappen in sprints. Only under that combination, Verstappen winning everything, Norris and Piastri consistently scoring just enough but not too much, would Verstappen end the season with 447 points, barely edging Piastri by just 2 points and finishing 19 ahead of Norris. So yes, the title is still mathematically alive, but the margin is razor thin and the scenario nearly impossible. Still, Formula One has shown us time and time again that shocking comebacks can happen. Think back to 2007, when Kimi Räikkönen trailed Lewis Hamilton and Fernando Alonso by 17 points with only 2 races left. He went on to win both of them and clinch the championship by a single point. Or look at 2010, when Sebastian Vettel came into the Abu Dhabi finale sitting 3rd in the standings, only to win the race and snatch the title away from Alonso and Mark Webber at the very last moment. Those seasons are proof that while the odds may look impossible, the sport has a way of delivering wild twists in the closing stages. And if there's one driver on today's grid capable of pulling off the extraordinary, it's Max Verstappen. His relentless speed, mental strength, and ability to deliver under pressure are the reasons he already has 4 titles to his name. So now it comes down to this. Can Verstappen once again defy the odds and produce the kind of miracle finish that F1 history loves to tell? Or is this finally the year where the run ends and the McLaren duo of Norris and Piastri get their hands on the ultimate prize? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Do you think this mathematical miracle is still on the table, or has the fight already slipped away for Verstappen this year?